All right, let's turn on those little epic tunes, these epic tunages, and there we are. Hello, everybody. Hello, my friend, and thank you all for tuning in to our weekly Friday wrap-up, our little chatter that happens on Friday afternoons. Will, my friend, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I clicked a button, but it looks like we're good. I'm doing good, man. I got a little bit of a headache today, but I think it's because I'm dehydrated. So
Well, you clicked a little button on your little
I
Steam
did.
Deck, huh?
That's what I did. I thought I hit
This is just the
transfer
default.
my audio.
It's always on, but you can see the dust. The
You
layer
gotta
of
set it up,
dust
man. You
around
gotta
it.
set it up,
Look at this. Look at this.
bro. Especially now that you're
Goodness.
orchestrating this live stream, that would really come in handy.
You're probably right, because I nervously quickly click to change the scenes, and I'm like, okay, let's turn this down and move this up.
You could just press a button.
I don't know, man. I've always been a fan of making things harder than they have to be. So
Yep.
anyway, I feel like I haven't talked to you in so long.
I know. It feels like it's been a minute.
I guess it's been since last Friday, but those of you who watch the channel regularly, I haven't been able to do our last two Critical Role discussions or Worlds Beyond. Nice coffee cup, by the way.
Thanks, man. Little Campbell's mug.
I'm about it.
Ashley used to work for that account, so they gave it to her back in the day.
We try to keep friends and family out of the stream, so
forgive me.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of friends and family, and now I feel like a total jackalope. The person we mentioned who had moved here, who had reached out to us, and we were like, oh, they probably aren't even watching the stream. But then they DM'd me, and they were like, well, I was watching it. And then I didn't respond. I was like, because it was on my phone. I was like, oh, haha. And then I was going to message them and be like, all right, let's make this happen. And then I'm just now remembering I never actually did that.
Oh,
so
no.
the person's probably like, cool.
Well, we gotta reach out.
Yeah.
So
it's on us at this point, you know?
Yeah.
All right.
We'll make it right. If you happen to be watching again, I apologize.
We're going to make it right.
Yeah.
We're not used to people wanting to see us or be around us. So it's thrown us off.
It was a foreign feeling.
Yeah. Filmatic, great to see you. Sending love from Thailand. Absolutely.
Filmatic,
man, it hits me.
I've had Thai food since we last spoke, and it was delicious.
It's like a Pavlovian thing for me now. Filmatic writes in the chat, and I the mouth waters because I'm like, ooh, Thai food. So I unfortunately have not.
What's your go-to?
I like Taste of Thai. Joy doesn't really like Taste of Thai, so we like Thai spice.
Yeah, that's usually where we go as well.
Yeah.
Or salad Thai.
Yeah, that one's good too.
I like that one too.
Yeah, I like that one. So
delicious. But how have you been, my friend? You asked me, and we got sidetracked.
I'm doing okay too. I've been really busy with work, just trying to pay the rent.
Yeah.
Real fun. But just busy working and trying to make some cash, and I had a cyst on my back that I've had for 5 years, and it got inflamed. I guess it just happens. So I had to go to the doctor 2 days ago, and it was pretty painful. And they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna take this out right now." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I actually have this,
surgery.
It's
or not. Maybe that's a bit extreme.
It's too strong of a word. They laid me down. They gave me a bunch of shots around it, and then they cut it open and took it out. But I have this big pad on my back. Yeah. And they told me I'm not allowed to shower for 2 days. So I'm on day 2 of not showering, which, I think I'm looking okay.
Feeling a little ripe.
I was at a meeting this morning, and I was like, none of you have any idea I haven't showered in 2 days.
Well, I'm glad everything okay, just now that it's
I think it's just normal, right? So but that hurts a lot. And then I'm also just really tired. I had a sales call with this company out of Australia yesterday. So I had to get on the call. It was 9 o'clock my time, but it was 2 o'clock their time.
Yeah.
We're like making small talk, and I'm just like, I'm so tired. It's so late, but
Yeah.
anyway.
I feel you, man. That was me yesterday, but thankfully I got to catch up on some sleep today, so I'm feeling a little bit better. Question: Have you? So not the Worlds Beyond that just came out, but did you get a chance to finish the one before yet?
I did. I finished it on Wednesday. I was pretty much like driving all day, and so I did. Beautiful episode,
bro. I won't spoil it for anyone that's listening that hasn't caught up, but bro, that final little moment with Ursulon brought me to tears, bro. I was just like, I was in a vibe, and it was when it was snowing outside.
Yeah.
So it was just like this. I don't know. It was just beautiful.
Brennan has such an intriguing knack for incredibly relatable, personable moments. And again, without spoiling anything, but when he has this line where basically talks about Ursulon looking out the window and what he kind of who he expects to see. And I don't know, there was something very it's weird. I don't know how to describe it because I can't think of a time in my life where I've like looked out the window and been like, is someone going to come around the corner? But like, there was something very expectant about it that I think a lot of us can relate with. And Brennan is just nuts, man. The way he can like seize those moments is pretty incredible.
Yeah. And I don't want to again spoil it, but the way he like planted the seed with the earlier mention of like there's an inspiration here, but like you don't know where it's from.
Yeah.
And I didn't pick up on where it was gonna be from until the reveal at the end. Yeah. And so it was just such a great moment. But I was hoping.
Well, I'm excited to watch the next one, and then I am like giga behind on Critical Role, so I gotta just do like a deep dive on it and catch up. So I haven't seen any of last night's because yesterday was Ashley's birthday, so we were doing stuff for her birthday last night. So I got to watch the most recent one as well. That's right. I forgot you have a double whammy. You have Valentine's Day and
Valentine's birthday back to back, man.
Yeah, and y'all don't do them on the same day.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it feels like cheap to kind of combine
up in the chat for my man Will.
Thanks. But now we're through it, with the holidays leading straight into, not straight in, but December through February, very expensive time for me.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Now we've made it through. Hopefully.
Did y'all do anything special for Valentine's Day?
Nothing like crazy. Like we get each other like some small gifts each year and had dinner, watched a movie. But all at home.
You know what I don't really like is when you talk to somebody who, like, you're trying to make small talk and they say something that, on the topic of Valentine's Day, and this happened more than once on Valentine's Day, but I was talking to this lady about Valentine's Day and I was like, yeah, so what are you and your husband doing? And she goes, we just don't believe in Valentine's Day and we don't get why people do. And it was like, I didn't even know this person. And so I was like, I hope you don't ask me what I'm doing because, it reminds me of a time I was at like this event and it was like on a Sunday when there was like supposed to be some kind of like big NFL game or something. Yeah. And the guy next to me, I was trying to make small talk. So I was like, hey, so who are you pulling for the game? And he was like, I just think watching sports is a total waste of your life. And I was like,
cool.
And it's like the only time in my life that I was like talking to somebody and I went, and just like no like transition. I just was like, all right. And then just like went to the next person. So
see you later, bro.
Anyway, I was like,
that's
we
hilarious.
We have a little small talk,
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I was about to jump into a rabbit's hole, but it's not worth it. But the people like that are just weird, man. Like, because it's something they're not interested in. They can't fathom why anyone would be.
Yeah.
But did you guys do anything fun for V-Day?
I was working literally all day. I left early and got home late. And then I think she made like a nice meal. I got a bottle of wine on the way home. So I got a bottle of wine.
You don't remember? It was like literally 2 days ago.
It was literally such like a busy day for both because she's like watching the kids. So like it wasn't like we don't always like get the time to like have like a very intentional day. But I was just trying to remember like if she had cooked something or not. But so I got a bottle of wine, and then I think we played Pal World, for like an hour.
Oh, you got it?
So yeah, because I had a Steam. It was like
Right,
meant to
right.
be. I saw it was like $28, and I got on my Steam account, and I had like 25 and change in my wallet. I don't know where it's from.
Boom. That's
but
the
I was
best.
like, dude, for like $4, we can try this game out. And she loved Valheim. She's not a gamer, but she loved Valheim. She's really enjoyed it. And unfortunately,
are you, or not to cut you off, but are you both playing like one game, or are you both able to play at the same time, like with each other?
With Valheim, I bought 2 copies, and we played like side by side. With Pal World, we just got the one and we just played it. Okay. But it was funny though, because she like kind of like bumped me out of the way and was like, okay, let's see here.
Move over. Yeah.
So she really gets into it, man. It's fun. It's really cute. But so we played a little bit of that. We'd actually started playing it like a week and a half ago, and then like I've been working like super late at night, and so she'll like bump into my office and be like, all right, we're gonna play for like an hour, and I'm like, I can't. So we finally had like some time a couple nights ago to sit down and play it, and it's a fun game. It's I definitely see the allure of it. It's a good game for sure.
I've been wanting to check it out. So now I got a quick question for you, because I know you also you got Helldivers.
Yes, and that was another serendipitous thing, because my daughter was on like the PlayStation, and she didn't buy something, but like when you download like a free app, it sends you an email telling you your purchase was done. Yeah. So I got this email, and for people who don't remember the story, but there was a time where I got an email that was like, hey, your purchase is complete. And my daughter had bought Elden Ring, which I still haven't played, but I was PTSD. I was like, oh no, she bought something else, but it was like some free app. Anyway, it said at the bottom of the email, your total balance right now on the PlayStation Store is like $200. And I was like, what? So at some point, I don't remember when this happened, I apparently put a $200 balance onto my PlayStation account. Nice. So anyway, our mutual friend, Nate, had wanted to play it. And I was like, well, I can't get it on PC, but I have this balance on PlayStation. And so yeah, I bought that. And I've only played it one time. That game is like the ultimate play with your friends kind of game, is all I'll say.
That's what I've heard.
It's really fun.
So you might not be able to really answer this since you haven't played it that much, but I was just going to say, like, Pal World or Helldivers, like, which one?
If it was just me and you, like us hanging out together, I would probably play Pal World. Like, just because it's very like kind of cozy, and like it's just like you're like kind of like hanging out, like it's very casual, and you're like building stuff together. If it was like me, you, and like 2 other people, definitely Helldivers. Helldivers kind of gives me the vibe of, remember back in the day before Fortnite was like massive, where it was like, all right, where are we dropping? What are we doing, boys? And it was kind of like chaotic, and there's like a lot of hijinks that can happen. That's very much my impression of Helldivers. And even with Nate, our evening when we only played one mission, but it was like an hour long. It's a fun game. It's very fun. So I highly recommend you get it. So we can all try it out this weekend or something, or I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I want to play it, especially if it was a game that the boys could throw down on. I definitely would be game for that. So
and it has
I was just curious
too. So if you got it on PC, you could play it with us.
It's on Steam, right?
That I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know what it's on.
I bet it is.
I just know there's a PC version. Philmatic said, I'm going to say something personal. It's been a terrible year and been hard, especially this week. I don't know if I was going to make it. I was going to make till this weekend, then I saw the notification. Y'all saved me. Thanks for that. Man, that's high praise for our stream. You know, Philmatic, here's all I'll say is it's been a really, really hard year for me too. It's been really challenging. And I think in life, it can be very easy to feel like you're the only one who's going through like a really hard time. So just sending you love, man. Just, you know, we all go through like really freaking hard times. And, you know, I'm glad you shared that with us, and that we get to be a tiny sunspot on your Friday afternoon. Is a sunspot a bad thing, by the way, now that I'm saying it? So
I think it is actually
yeah,
now that a bright spot is maybe
bright spot.
is
Yes.
what you're looking for. But yeah, Film Addict, the highest praise, man. I'm so happy just to be a slice of all of y'all's lives. Like it's a
Yeah.
great honor. That's the reason we made this channel, was to just find other people,
Yeah.
to share these nerdy things that we love with. Which stemmed from really not having anyone to share them with.
Yeah.
In my case, that's why
Right.
I forced Blake to watch Critical Role with me. And the rest is history. But yeah, that really was like the dream of doing this to begin with, was to, find people like you. So I'm so glad that we were able to find each other. And
Yeah.
yeah, man. So I'm sorry you're going through a rough time right now, but rough times never last, you know?
True. And it's hard. It's very true. It's hard, like when you're in it, to believe that, because I've definitely had
Very
days
hard.
where I've been like, I just don't know how I'm gonna make it till tomorrow. Like I just don't see the out. But I think you're right, man. I think the old adage, "This too shall pass," even when it feels like it won't.
Yeah. And it's impossible to feel that when you're in it. So like,
Yeah.
I know it's way easier said than done for me to sit here and say that. So know that I know that, but it is true.
Yeah, you're right.
So,
Yeah.
just keep hanging in there. And, as cliche as it is, this too will pass.
It's not unlike, I think, Will, you and I can't remember how much we've shared in the past, but I feel like there's been a time like where I've been through like a hard breakup, and I think you said something like, and it's an adage again, we all know, it was time heals all wounds. Which in the moment you're kind of like, no, I'm
Shut
never
up.
Yeah, but then
Yeah.
but then like literally you experience and you're like, okay, yeah, time heals all wounds. So yeah. I appreciate you sharing that with us, Film Addict. And
Me too.
sending you lots of love. And yeah. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Red Eye Jedi asked, "Did y'all see last night's episode?" I haven't seen it. It's taking everything in me not to read the post discussion thread, because I'm a pretty big junkie for that stuff. But I've held strong the last 3 episodes now. I haven't read anything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I haven't seen it either. I'm caught up except for last night, but last night was my girlfriend's birthday, so I didn't get a chance to watch live. So hopefully this weekend I'll catch up.
The latest Worlds Beyond episode is only an hour and 20 minutes, so I've actually started that. But I probably need to transition over to Critical Role instead, just because I have so many more hours that I'm behind on that. Don't do it. Okay, I think Red Eye's saying don't read the spoilers. So
yeah, don't.
Well, now I feel like I have
okay,
to.
so
oh no,
I almost don't want to say this because it might tempt you, but
no.
I didn't watch the episode last night, so I don't know what happens. And even what I'm about to say is not me being like coy. Like I truly don't know anything that happens. But I peeked over to the live chat thread, just because I had a notification that like somebody had pinged me in there. And at the time I didn't realize it, but now I realized what it was. Is every time, like an hour before the episode, Rose gives like a 1 hour warning,
right,
and they always tag me being like, get your dinner ready, because I'm always notoriously like late. So that's what the ping was, but I didn't put that together at the time. So I clicked it and I just saw a couple of messages of like people freaking out. So like,
oh gosh,
so I don't know what happens, but like apparently something freak out worthy occurs at some point.
Oh no, I'm gonna ruin it. Oh no,
don't do it.
It's like the Michael Scott where he's like, I don't want to say it. Oh man. Okay, that's good to know. I'm gonna make it a priority this weekend. Like I said, I've been working like crazy hours, so I have to peel off some time to spend with the fam. But maybe like late at night, I'll try to. And then I'm going to Little Rock for my dad's birthday, so maybe we'll get some
this weekend.
Maybe some window time to
when's his birthday?
Catch up. It was it was on the 5th, but we don't have a chance to celebrate till Sunday. So.
Gotcha. And don't forget that, not that if you're with the whole fam, I'm sure they don't want to listen to it, but there's also podcast version of Critical Role.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to catch up. Like I said, so 2 weeks ago, not a whole lot happened, but then last week was a lot of lore.
Mm,
And
okay.
then so I don't really know what to expect with last night's episode, but
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
yeah. And then it's a leap year, right? So we have the longer February this year, which means there are 5 Thursdays in this February, which is crazy. Wonder when the last time that happened.
I guess 4 years ago, right?
But not necessarily, because it might also because the
Oh,
month
right.
literally starts on a Thursday and ends on a Thursday.
Okay, yeah. I was like, I think it's pretty clear it'd be 4 years
About
ago.
about every 4 years.
This is just crazy. How often does it leap year happen?
So I'm wondering if because Candela ended, so I wonder if the last Thursday maybe it'll just be an off week with nothing. Anyway, so we should have at least one more episode this month.
Well, I got good news. This is totally unrelated, but I just closed a sale, so I can finally pay my rent that's due 7 days
nice,
ago.
Man.
See, already the good vibes coming in, man.
Boom.
I was really sweating.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Anywho,
invoice has been
paid.
Okay, nice.
So
nice.
Now to take the fees to instant transfer it. Yay. So that yay, by the way, reminds me of did you watch Jon Stewart's return to
No,
show
I still need to.
He had a sarcastic yay, but you should check it out. It honestly feels like when we were kids.
Bro, you know I'm going. I love Jon Stewart.
It was kind of surreal, honestly. How I'm curious for those of you who are listening who aren't from the States, if y'all are familiar with Jon Stewart or if you like Jon Stewart, but he has some pretty big fanfare here in the States, just because he's had an amazing post Daily Show career of just being a decent human being, which is pretty rare. Pretty
low bar, but you know what? We'll take it.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch any of his show that he did?
The Problem
for Apple TV.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've seen some of the content from there. Yeah.
Me too. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed that too.
Yeah.
It's a bit different, but I liked it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But no, so I don't know. Since you watched it, did they mention at all like what the plan for this is? Like, is it every Monday for the foreseeable future? Or is it like for the next 4 Mondays he's gonna do this?
I watched through YouTube, so if they had that, they might have like cut it out. For me, it was like literally like pure content.
Okay,
it was pretty good. So anyway,
interesting.
He does a good job of highlighting the pure insanity of politics in America, and so anyway.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting towards the end of our time. My friend Will, I put up a question in the chat.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Favorite childhood story game?
Any options or just
anything comes to mind?
Story game.
So a story game you played as a kid that was your favorite, or I'll say extremely memorable.
Okay.
What game are you thinking of?
So I'm pretty sure I'm fully understanding what you're asking, but you just mean like a game that has a narrative as opposed to like Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Okay.
You were deep diving the lore on Fox between matches. It's like all fan fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say like, and it doesn't have to be like, I think some games are like narrative games, like What Remains of Edith Finch is a really beautiful narrative game. But I would say not necessarily that category, like just a game that had a compelling story, regardless of the game type, whether that's an RPG or a more narrative thing. But what comes to mind for you?
So now I'm trying to decide what demarcates childhood.
Oh no, you're like over complicating this.
Well, no, I'm not. The only reason
I'd say pre-college. I'd say till you're about growing up till you're about 16, 17, 18 at the max.
Okay. Because see, that's older than I was thinking. So now I got to include some more games. But honestly, the first thing that came to mind, I think, is just going to be my answer. And that is Final Fantasy VII.
Ooh, that's a great choice.
my which I only know about because of this man to my right over here. I still
Oh.
remember we had a sleepover at your house, and I don't remember, like, part of it, for those of you that are, I mean, not that sleepovers don't happen anymore, but for those of you that are our age, like, before the internet, before
Mm-hmm.
things like that, we just played games and did stuff. Not as much was known, I guess. Maybe I'm just calling myself an idiot, but like I had never heard of Final Fantasy. And so like it was a sleepover, so we were like, let's stay up all night and play games.
Yeah.
And it was like, let's see if we could beat a game like start to finish.
Oh
And
man.
so you showed me Final Fantasy. I was like, bro, could we do it? And you're like, bro, this game is like 80 hours long.
Yeah.
That like blew my mind because I had never played a game that was like that deep or that long.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would probably go with that.
And
What about you?
part 2 of the remake comes out in just under 2 weeks.
No.
Which pretty cool. Pretty cool,
No,
man.
I still need to play part 1.
Yeah, which is a great remake. Final Fantasy is a fantastic choice. I almost want to choose it for how transformative that game was for me. Like truly like one of the best experiences I've ever had with games. But since you've already said it, I'll go elsewhere. I would probably go with Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. Which isn't as like narratively designed as Final Fantasy. You don't have like cutscenes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There was something about the story that just really I loved, or maybe even I'd say Ocarina of Time. There's definitely a Zelda game somewhere in the top 5 there. I loved Link's Awakening too. I thought that had an amazing story, more niche story, but I don't know.
See,
go ahead.
I haven't played some of the older Zeldas like you have, like not start to finish for like the full narrative experience. And I don't mean this as a slight at all, but like while Zelda games, in my experience, the ones I've played, obviously have a story, they don't seem that like deep necessarily to me.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Which isn't a bad thing.
It's very subtle. It's all very subtle. Like it's kind of those things where like you experience story notes that are, you either make them more memorable than they are or they don't connect with you. But just to spoil Link's Awakening, sorry for anyone who like was planning on playing it one day, you find, and I think part of this is like where you are in life. When you're a child, like 10 years old, I'm playing Game Boy on a car trip or whatever, and especially when you're really young, like you have these like interactions with like the nerd world, but you don't necessarily have the people to engage with it. So you kind of get lost in your own imagination. Like, I guess I'm just describing being a kid really. But I remember in Link's Awakening, you find out that the island you're on, the world you're on, is all made up. None of it's real. And the main, not really fair to say like, she's not the love interest because she's married in the game, but the main counterpart to your character, you find, once you find out nothing's real, it's like, oh, what happens to her then? Because she has like this storyline about how one day she's going to get off the island, and if it was up to her, she would become a bird and fly away. Which I'm not doing it justice, but when you beat the game though, and I can't remember if you had to beat it like without like dying or whatever it was, but when you beat the game, the final shot of like the end credits has like the camera tilt up to the sun and you see a bird fly across. And it was kind of, I don't know, it was just very, just like, I don't know how to describe it, but it was like it was a gut punch. I was just like, bro. So, and 10-year-old me, it's just, I'm like, what are these feelings I have? So, and that's, I mean, I think that's the beauty of these things, is it creates these just memorable experiences that it's kind of, I know this is kind of a stretch, but it kind of reminds me of Calamity in the sense of, I'm a big fan of these formats of entertainment that connect with us on like a deeper level. And I remember when Calamity ended, the number of YouTube comments that were just like, thank you for this experience. Thank you for, it's not just a D&D game. There's something really special about it. So anyway, I'm being long-winded, but you get it.
No, I get you, Why do we tell stories? It applies to video games and books and everything, right? So for sure. I love that. I also saw Film Addict, your comment. Conan is also my absolute favorite.
Yeah.
I freaking love Conan.
Yeah, Conan's great.
Grew up on him for sure.
Does he have a podcast now? What does he do now?
Yeah, he does.
Okay. I was gonna say he doesn't have a show anymore.
He might. Yeah, I don't think he has any type of show anymore. Like the podcast might be filmed and be put put out somewhere type of thing, but not like a late night show like he used to.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah. Okay. Well, cool. Well, what are you playing in the near future as we wrap up today?
What am I playing?
Yeah, are you playing anything or getting any game time in?
Man, I haven't recently. Just that phone game, that idle game. That's like
Bro, I'm telling you got to jump on sci-fi, man. I'm like all about this game. You still liking that one?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like, I think it's more of like an addiction to use that word lightly, but like, it's not like it's like that compelling, but it's just like, let me get on and do my tasks.
Yeah.
That type of thing.
That was one of the things that was really fun. I say fun, it wasn't fun. Explaining to my wife the concept of dailies. Because I don't really have any games I do dailies now, but when I was really big into Lost Ark, you have dailies there. And obviously, WoW had dailies for forever before they moved to like every 3 days. But I remember being like, she'd be like, "Are you ready to go to bed?" And I'd be like, I got to do my dailies real quick. She'd be like, "Why don't you just not do them?" And I was like, "You got to do your dailies."
What do you mean?
Yeah, you have to. You have to. So
you don't understand.
Right. Anyway,
but no, there's like, I literally have a list of games I want to play, but they're more like indie like story game, like Edith Finch type games. And like literally for like 6 months now, I've told myself, all right, I'm gonna start carving out some time to do that, and I just still haven't. Because I want to, and I want to like get some streams in again, but I just need to like literally schedule some time to do it, I guess, or I'm never going to.
Do you miss Hearthstone at all?
No, I still like, I'm similarly an addict where every like 3 or 4 days I'll jump on and do my dailies so I can get my gold.
Really? Oh my gosh, man.
But like, I'm not actually playing. Like, I literally just
total at now.
I'm at like 120,000 something.
Oh my gosh, man.
But I haven't played like a battleground in like 4 or 5 months. So I do kind of miss that, but I also haven't had the urge to like, it's been so long that I would have to like relearn the meta, and I don't really want to do that. So I
remember it was part of your routine a bit. We all have like our routine, but I remember when you were streaming daily, the Battlegrounds was a big piece of it. There's definitely like a side that I relate with that of the gold amount, by the way, because I remember when I played Overwatch pretty heavily, I never wanted to open the loot boxes. So I just kept collecting them, and I had a lot. I mean, I had like 300 or 400 loot boxes, and I'm super annoyed because whenever they transitioned to Overwatch 2, they you've lost all your loot boxes, but they gave you like an equivalent of like, I don't know if it was currency or if they just gave you a bunch of like, they opened it for you or what happened. I'm not really sure what happened, but I was really annoyed because there were like, even when I was done with Overwatch, I would still get on just to get my loot box. But Classic Blizzard didn't like that approach to,
Bro, what if they do that one day? They just like convert my gold into packs or something. I'd be so mad.
Yeah. Gary said, Oregon Trail, I died of dysentery. And then Philmatic said, one last question. Any advice to someone who's rewatching The Mighty Nine? I finally got my friend into Critical Role and we're starting with C2. I think you're the resident person for that.
So any advice for you, Philmatic, as a rewatcher? I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know. Nothing really like comes to mind. If you've already seen it, to be like, look out for this, because I mean,
I do see a lot on like the Critical Role subreddit, like comments around like, should I skip any content or any storylines I should skip, or even like at what point should I expect like an uptick in the story? And I do see like random comments like, yeah, around episode 35, or like, hey, once you get past this arc, you're gonna notice some really interesting things, or I don't know how relevant that is, but
I mean, people absolutely feel that way and do that. I mean, especially with campaign 1 as well, the whole narrative of like skipping the first Orion episodes basically. But for my money, and not to say that you can't skip certain episodes of Critical Role, because like definitely some of them are just like maybe it's a whole combat that like nothing really impactful happens narratively, or like it's a shopping episode. So like you could skip it if you just want to get to the next story beat. But that's never been like my speed. Like one of the reasons I enjoy Critical Role is for kind of the, not a good way to put it, but slower moments. Like, you know, just seeing those like everyday casual interactions between the characters and pieces of the world. So while I do understand why that's not for everybody, and so you could be like, yeah, skip episode 7, 35, and 16. Those are sometimes my favorite episodes. So
I think Film Addict, your friend's in for a good journey. I have a player in one of my campaigns who just got into Critical Role, and he started with campaign 2, and he has devoured it. He loves it though. So
yeah, absolutely. I would say that, you know, just as a rewatcher, since you do know everything, it could be cool to like try and pick up on the little subtle like nuances that characters are dropping. And I don't want to spoil anything, one, because Blake hasn't seen it, but I don't know who else in here maybe hasn't. But you know, knowing certain reveals that the players are going to drop, just kind of being on the lookout for little hints that they're sliding in that, you know, probably went over a lot of our heads on the first watch through.
Sorry.
That could be kind of fun to look out for.
You know what it kind of makes me think of is, on a semi-related note, we have the animated show for Mighty Nine coming at some point, and we still don't have a date on season 3 of Legend of Vox Machina. It's kind of strange at this point, and no comments around it from the CR team.
No comments is kind of weird.
Yeah, season 2 debuted in either late December, early January of last year, and I think
it was January.
Okay, and I think it was similar for season 1. So we're over a year now past, and no trailer, no announcement.
I just think it, I mean, not weird, like you know, casting aspersions their way, but it's just it's just weird that like, and not saying that like we should have had a trailer by now, but it's just kind of weird that they've been radio silent about it. Like, hey, like here's a little update, you know, since this is normally when the show would come out, like where the writer strike set us back, or you know, this, that, or the other. Not that they have to like tell us everything, but just like, hey, you know, it's coming later 2024 or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway,
but they are having I don't remember what it is, but I remember there was some talk in the Discord about it. There's some con coming up like pretty soon that they're all going to. So some people were wondering maybe they would like announce it there or something.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. All right, well, to all you watching, and Will, my friend, I think that does it for today's episode. You can always join the Discord for more chatter around these kinds of things. We love engaging with you all. And then stay tuned for more content on Worlds Beyond, Critical Role, and D&D. So,
pop.
See you all.
Bye, y'all.